Hey everyone. Guess what? We're here with another band. We're here with it's Eric and Brian, am I right?
Right,
From Hiroe.
right. You got it, man.
I said it right. Yeah. They are a fantastic band from Pennsylvania
Yes, sir.
that their newest album, Wield, I almost said weird. Um, Wield will be coming out June 20th on Pelagic Records with our friend Mario, who produced it. Uh, Check it out. It's a great album. I'm just going to jump into it. I'm literally like going through trying to find something to critique about the album today.
Okay.
I'm like, there's got to be something bad here. And frankly, it flows so great, like from beginning to end. And the way it ends, I'm just like, oh, it's like this culmination, like that the
Right.
answer. I finally got it. Okay, we're done.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, no, Mario, that's a lot of Mario's handiwork, right? Like, we went in, we were pretty prepared with that stuff, but Mario certainly helped shape everything, like during that time and like, even after the fact. So a lot of post-production stuff. So hats off to Mario, you know?
yeah. He's got a really, I think, a really unique ear and like vision when he goes into something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What he's done with Spotlights has been, um, you know, spectacular. And of course, it's not all him. You've got, Sarah and Chris in there too. But
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
man, the sounds like they create, it's absolutely mind blowing. I can't wait for the next like Spotlights album.
Oh no, they're amazing. The amount of like heaviness and sound that come out of like three people, it's like mind blowing.
Yeah,
Um, remember listening to that last record where like the saxophone kind of comes in. I'm like, whoa, what was that? You know?
yeah,
Yeah, they do an amazing job. There's this one song, Sunset Burial, the way it like ends is just like so heavy. Like, I don't know,
yeah,
man. Anytime Mario comes out with something like I never know what to expect, but I know it's gonna be good, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I've known him forever now. And pretty much anything I record at this point, he has to have a hand in it. Like I don't really trust anyone else at this point. It's just like I don't know if it's just like that friendship kind of thing or like producer musician relationship. But yeah, I mean I've known him for the better part of like 20 years at this point. So like pretty much everything I do musically, like I have to call him up and say like, hey, I have something. Can you like help me out here? You know, and he'll jump in. So
Yeah, that's super cool. Well, I would say it's probably a mix of those relationships, right? That
right.
friendship and, the trust of that, that trusted ear where you're like, okay, I know he's not gonna like veer me way off course.
No,
And
no, 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 right. Yeah, like he always has like the best our best he has our best interest in mind, you know what I mean? So yeah, he always comes through with something really awesome for us. So
for sure. So when you started writing, sounds like did you write like this and the next thing like right
yeah,
together? And
yeah, pretty much. So we the last record we brought, we did like a couple runs with that, and then for the better part of like a year and a half, went through like the whole like writing period. And we actually came out with like I want to say like 80 plus minutes worth of material. A lot of bands go in and like record like one record, like 40 minutes, maybe even less than that. And it was
yeah,
kind of insane. We did like we pretty much did two records, which was an insane ask of any band, but we pulled it off. I remember I called Mario up and I was like, hey man, I got like a lot of material. He's like, oh, well, what's like the runtime? And I told him, he's like, what? And he was like, well, how long are we gonna go for? And I said like 10 days like straight. And yeah, it was pretty amazing. We all just kind of packed in for 10 days and just like belted this thing out. And it was a really awesome experience. I'm sure Brian can attest to some of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I had only joined the band like maybe like 2 or 3 months before the recording. So it was certainly a tall ask of recording 80 minutes worth of material. But we had, the right crew in place, everyone, John, Jill, Dan, and Eric, of course, just we were prepared. We put in the work and we got it done. And yeah, I can only look back on it fondly. And obviously, Mario being such a great person that he is, really, really helped it all
yeah.
come for sure.
Well, that. That's cool. It sounds like it was more than just like, hey, we're a band doing a thing, right? Like you got to go in with your friends and kind of play and how daunting was that for you, Brian? Like with the, hey, we're welcome to the band. By the way, we got to get rehearsing because we're gonna record for like 10 days.
Oh,
Yeah, it was certainly I mean, I immediately knew the answer was yes. For sure it's a tall ask, but I'd previously taken a few years off from playing in bands and was putting feelers out here, just trying to look for something interesting and Eric sent me a message via Instagram and we kind of just made it happen. So um yeah,
it's
I'm super super stoked with how everything turned out with that.
It's actually really interesting how we pulled Brian in. So, my previous guitarist, he's a good friend. He didn't have the bandwidth anymore to like help support record, or he couldn't record at the time. So that meant like I would have had to like take it on double duty for like two guitar parts, and that was kind of rough, especially with like 80 plus minute runtime. So, I was talking to Brian, and we seem to kind of come from the same musical background. And it was like, hey, if you jump into this one, you can't be a dick. Two, it's gonna be like 80 plus minutes worth of material. Three, you're gonna have to take like at least 10 days off of work. And four, we're gonna go to do this festival in like July, so you need to take like a couple of days off of work. Are you like down with that? And he's like, yeah, totally. And I had tried out a couple people, and Brian had just kind of like knocked it out of the park. It's crazy. He came in like 2 weeks, and he was able to like knock out like I want to say 90% of the material. Like he was really on it. Yeah, it was amazing. He kind of saved this. So you know what I mean? So I would have gone like nuts during recording. So
That's super cool. I've noticed like when bands are more appreciative of like the new people coming in and like this new energy and the I guess the level of professionalism that
mhm.
the result is so much better than like you need to do this and this and this and stay under my thumb and blah 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 blah. Like no, like
Right, right.
you know,
Yeah, no,
oh,
Brian definitely came through. He was definite pro about all this. So for sure.
I don't know if I can get that much credit. I mean, I feel like, just as a band, we're all, very much self-starters. We,
Mhm.
generally can get a task and get it done and without, needing micromanaging from Eric or anyone else. So, I think it's really just been such a pleasure playing with everyone. And we're all, very humble musicians. I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength when it comes to being in a band and interacting with, each other and other bands. So,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
being in a band's like super interesting. You deal with like so many different personalities, right? And like some bands like they work, but they might not work well because people kind of like some bands they just kind of get in their own way. Like my artistic vision, I cannot be swayed. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, dude, like let's just play some music, man. So, but yeah, definitely this band, like everyone's like super easygoing. It's been like the most unique experience I've had in a band playing with like four other individuals who just like seemingly just get on like super well. Everyone's like super mature. It's weird. So
it's so weird. It's weird to hear that because like the history of music, it's, oh, did you hear so and so got in a fight with so and so
yeah,
backstage? And you're like, I don't really care about the drama. I just want people to play music and like let's have fun. So when you
right.
can when you can be, oh dude, like all of us, we just get along really good and we're like, let's play music and we fucking knock it out of the park. Yeah.
I mean, some bands like work well off of tension. I know that I've never worked well under that amount of tension. Like, yeah, you play in bands and like there are some people who kind of like have this idealized way of how like bands work. And sometimes there's just like a realistic way of like, hey, here's actually how things kind of really work if you really want to kind of do something with it, versus kind of like having this idealized way of how things work and like, no one wants to work with you. You're just kind of like stuck in a basement by yourself playing music to yourself. So but yeah,
Yeah,
with this, it's
sometimes those
highly
solo projects come out pretty cool though.
yeah, no,
Like
for sure, right? And I'm not gonna knock that. Yeah, so some of these solo projects are pretty amazing. So
for sure. Do you find like with Hiroe that the things are a lot more collaborative than maybe they had been with other projects in the past, or is it pretty much the same?
I mean, for this project, so like I drive most of the creative vision. Like I'll bring stuff to the table and I'll introduce it to the band and we just kind of go through this kind of like revision period where, we'll kind of play through it, see what kind of makes sense and people kind of add like on their own kind of thing. So in that case, it is collaborative, but technically like typically I'll bring like some sort of framework to the table and then we'll just kind of work off of that. So
Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, even if it's, like a framework, there's still everyone kind of has some input to it too.
oh yeah, definitely. Like it's not like, hey, you must play this like this. No, it's just kind of like, do what kind of makes sense to you. And like hopefully, if I'm playing like a heavy style, you're not playing like a bubblegum style, you know what I mean? So hopefully we're just kind of meeting somewhere in the middle. So and usually that's
Yeah,
how it works out.
that's cool. It's really cool to have that relationship with people too, that you can say, "Hey, listen, like, here's what I'm thinking. What do you got? Like,
Mm.
let's put it together. Let's make something." I mean, obviously, Wield it's just such a like a great piece of work, dude. Um,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
God, I'm gonna like
Very
go, oh
humble.
my God, for a
Thank
minute.
you.
Like the way it opens with the calm. I'm like, all
Right.
right, this is cool. Then it goes into tides, and
Mhm.
tides is heavy, and I'm like, okay, I'm into this. Then collider,
Right.
like I'm like, oh, what is going on here? This is so awesome.
Right.
Um, that like listening through the album, it really reminds me of like, growing up when you put the headphones on and put a record on and just lay back and stare at the art and read the lyrics and whatever else you could find in there. I'm honestly looking forward to getting the record so I can have my quiet time with it.
Awesome. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It was definitely by design, like how we kind of pieced everything together, like I mean nowadays it's kind of rough where like the listener will kind of like listen to like one thing, like a Spotify kind of thing, right? And like they'll get like this one glimpse of a band. But no, this was definitely like crafted to be made like listen from like front to back, right? Like kind of take people like on a journey, you know what I mean? Like it starts off with the calm and it's just that it's like pretty calm, right? And then we go into like kind of smacking the listener in the face with like something with tides, and just kind of start veering in like other different directions. Just yeah, wanting to take the listener on a journey.
Yeah, and it really is like listening to it as a whole, what it reminded me of is like calm is like I'm a newborn, nothing really
Mhm.
matters. I don't really care. And you're just kind of growing up through it,
Right, right,
right?
right.
And then I've been waiting for you all my life is like that, the culmination of I've been through all this bullshit to like make it here.
Right,
This is what life is. Like, man,
right,
it's you know,
right. Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
for sure.
I like the way that it's crafted as not, of course, songs, but an entire art piece.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like an
definitely.
an art that a lot of music is really missing right now.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, like, back in the day, right? Like in the 50s, like Sinatra's time, where they would have people like just sequence out like a record, like, oh no, it has to start with this, and it has to like the middle point has to be this, and it has to end like this. Yeah, that I agree. There's definitely something kind of like missing from that piece of music nowadays. Like people kind of like miss out on like I come from the generation where like I crack open the cellophane, I look at the liner notes, I see like, oh, here's the band, right? Like here's like who are they? What were they doing? Like, and you kind of get to like really understand the album like as a whole. So yeah, completely agree with you.
Well, then it's like, who did they think? Oh, that band, I've never heard of them. I got to go check them out now.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
that was, I think, a large part of it, that hunt for like, what's the next band I'm going to listen to? Like,
Mhm.
oh, I really like them and they turned me on to this. That's super cool. Like, who do they like? And it's a whole rabbit hole that I think a lot of kids today don't, I say kids, but the younger generations, don't really understand that you want to
Oh,
listen to music, you have to hunt it out and find it.
right. No, absolutely. Yeah, the stuff back in my time. I guess it wasn't like really spoon-fed. It was like you had to like go hunt for stuff. So me and Mario come from like that whole like mid 90s like post-hardcore generation. He was a big Jawbox guy, I was a big Sunny Day guy. And yeah, I remember listening to that first record, Diary, just kind of like front to back and be like, wow, what is this? This is amazing, and just kind of like went down this rabbit hole of like, well, what's Jawbox like? Like what's Christie Front Drive like? And it just kind of went from like one thing to the next to the next to the next. So yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. God, those were the days too. It wasn't like, hey, what's on Spotify? What's my, you know, daily playlist gonna look like? It was, I remember, I did a lot of like tape trading and I loved like mail day. You get an envelope with a tape in it, like, oh, what's on this? I gotta check this out. Put
I
that
know they're
on.
like little treasures, right? They're like little
Yeah.
gems, and like you'd like hear one song to the next and be like, your mind was just like blown. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Then you'd hear some bands and then they'd go on and get big and you're like, dude, I got a little mixtape of them before they were anything. What's going on
right,
here? Like, this is cool.
right, yeah. I
Super
mean,
cool.
in that sense, they were kind of like that hidden gem, that hidden treasure you had before they kind of blew up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. I feel like there's a lot of that now. I feel like you guys could really blow up.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see. I mean, I just I hope people take something like positive out of it, I guess. I hope they feel like, anything with art, I hope that something resonates with them. They listen to it and like, oh, that was really kind of cool, or, you know, um, whatever. They take something from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, is there a song that each of you like on Wield more than the others?
I'll let Brian talk. I've been talking a lot. I've been talking too much. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I mean, they're all so good. I think in terms of like playing live, Collider is probably my favorite. Just because, there's, a lot of tapping, a lot of the theatrics that I guess, you normally don't see in post rock. And I think, it being a 10-minute song and having so many ebbs and flows with the songwriting, I think it's, probably my standout on the album for sure. Um, I don't know if Eric, you have a different opinion on that, but
No, yeah, Collider's a lot of fun to play live, and there's like a cool part, like Tom, I don't know if you caught it, but like somewhere towards the middle of the song, there's like tapping, and I mean at the intro, there's like guitar tapping, but like
Yeah.
towards the middle of the song, there's actually three guitars that are tapping, and it's like a three guitar like harmony thing. It was like a hey, like Van Halen's super awesome. Let's do that times three. So yeah, that's a really fun song to play. I'd say my favorite song though is probably like I've Been Waiting. It's really kind of sweeping.
Yeah.
Really kind of like almost like sentimental. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. You
Mm.
know, that's one of the tracks that really stuck out to me as I've been waiting. Like I think the culmination of the album,
Mhm.
it is like that answer. Everything
Mhm.
comes together for this and it's fucking beautiful is what it is.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like, so are you guys gonna do this live from front to back?
We're gonna try to do some version of it live front to back. So we're going on this run this summer, and it just depends on how long our set list is. But we're gonna dip into some of the old stuff, and then definitely play a lot of the new stuff. We have a hometown show coming up. What is it, June 27th? Philadelphia Kung Fu Necktie. We're gonna be playing some of the old stuff, but we're gonna try to cram in the entire record from front to back at that show. And we'll see how it goes.
That's super cool. Where are you guys going this summer?
We are hitting up Baltimore, playing at a place called Monument City Brewing. We're playing in DC at a place called The Pocket. We're playing in Brooklyn at Gold Sounds. Boston, we're playing at Deep Cuts. Lancaster, where we're playing, not Lancaster, I'm sorry, Harrisburg, we're playing at a place called JB Love Drafts. Columbia, PA, we're playing at a place called the SRCC. Philly, we're playing hometown Kung Fu Necktie. And Pittsburgh, we're playing at a place called Ormsby, and then we're closing off the run in Indianapolis at a place called Black Circle. We're gonna be
Oh,
playing. Yeah, that's a great place.
yes.
We're gonna be part of the post fest, I guess, festivities. We're gonna be open the pre-show to the opening night, whatever, if you will.
So
And
like
then
Wednesday, is that Wednesday night you plan?
yeah, it's Wednesday. And then we're gonna hang out for the rest of the fest. They do a really good job. We played there last year, and that was like hands down, like probably probably the best experience I've ever had as a musician playing involved in any promoter thing, you know. They do an amazing job.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's an incredible fest.
I'm actually really excited for Post Fest. There are so many just fantastic bands on there that
Right,
I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm super stoked that you guys are going to be maybe not during the festival, but like that opening for it. So I'll be sure to get
right,
up there a day early for it.
right. Yeah,
Um, yeah,
definitely.
that's going to be killer. God, that makes me so fucking happy you guys are going to at least be in the area. Like,
Yeah, you know, it'd be good to like, it's funny that whole like, that fest, it's actually quite a small community and like a lot of us actually know each other. So it was really fun to play there last year. And, you know, I got to run in like a couple old friends, a couple bands that like listened to us that I hadn't heard before. They came up to us, introduced themselves to us. It was really nice and, you know, became kind of friends afterwards. It was a nice, like cool, like definitely a small, like, but tight community, you know, and then Nason and Derek, they just do like an incredible job of putting together like these incredible bills. Like last year's bill was just like stacked. It was, I'd never seen anything like that. It was just like heavyweight upon heavyweight upon heavyweight bands. And it's like, wow, like just to be a part of that was like such an honor. So,
for sure. Yeah, like and they both do it. Of course, they don't do it so they make a bunch of money. They do it for the love of the music,
oh
man, which
yeah,
is like that authenticity right there is what helps them craft those amazing lineups. Like,
right. Right.
it's
I'd say they've definitely had like a big hand in like creating and fostering like this whole like post-rock, post-metal community within the United States. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, not just the post rock and post metal. It's the same like in the doom or the
Mhm.
stoner realm. Like the communities when you get down into like the I guess subgenres or whatever the hell you want to call them, the communities are so tight knit. Like,
Mhm.
you even in the death metal community, you're like, oh, dude, I was talking with so and so. Oh, I know him, dude. We were fucking hanging out. Like, what?
Right.
How do you know this person? Whatever, cool, you know?
Our wives are like Lamaze partners or something, right? So
Yeah,
some, yeah, the communities are actually quite small. The community of people that actually do this like for real, you know? So yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's super cool. Um, I was talking with someone about Pelagic,
Mhm.
probably like last week,
Mhm.
and I cannot find or I cannot remember one thing that I've listened to from Pelagic where I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'm
Right.
always like, that. How the fuck do they find something so good? Like so often too, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I mean that's hats off to the guy that drives it, Robin Stapp. So he's like the head of the label. He's also like the head of like that band The Ocean.
The ocean. Yeah.
Right, super awesome, like post-metal band. But yeah, I mean, he just finds like talent. Like I don't know how he does it, and he's got like this huge stable of like bands, you know. And actually, a lot of a decent amount of the bands are actually some of our friends. So, but yeah, for sure, like that whole crew, that whole label, they just a massive amount of talent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely impressive. It's like what I look at Pelagic as like the albums from, the 80s and 90s when you were like, oh, Discord, like I know if I'm going to listen to Discord, it's going to be great. It's all going to be like this.
You're right.
It wasn't all branched out. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like having labels that put out a bunch of different stuff, but man, I love labels where you can just say, not a bad fucking record on there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'd compare them to someone like the sub pop of like kind of like this kind of subgenre. You know what I mean? They're very good. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I know since you guys are on Pelagic, we're doing some vinyl.
Hmm.
So we've got to talk about the variants.
Right,
So
right.
what do you guys got?
So we've got a collider variant. I think that's like white and like a black kind of like oblong shape type of design, whatever. Kind of cool. Then there's like a clear version, and then a black version. Then there's a black version, your standard version, and there's something called the subscriber version where it's like gold. And that one's impressive. That's one I want. And they actually sold out of that. So that's like all like gone at this point. So I'm kind of bummed. But yeah, we've got four variants. So
That's super cool. Yeah, God, that the subscriber ones are always, I'm like, man, that's the one I want. Damn, it's gone.
right, they're super impressive. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do a
every
really good
time.
job. Like and that's all Pelagic too. They come up with the vinyl designs and stuff like that. So yeah, hats off to them, their design crew.
Do they help you guys through like the whole packaging for the album and all
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like we'll present them with like, some artwork and we'll get some guidance on like, how to like adjust this or just to make sure that manufacturing comes out like looking good. They take a lot of care into like their packaging. Like if you look at like their vinyl catalog, like everything's like a piece of art. I'm really
Yeah,
stoked about this record because this is the first time where I've had like something kind of fancy done. The cover there's gold in it, and Robin the head he was just like, yeah, why don't we make it like kind of like sparkle? Let's add in some gold like a little foil here. I'm like, oh dude, that'd be so awesome. So we went for it, and he sent me a video the other day, and it looked like really like impressive. So really stoked how it
that's
came.
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's super cool. That
Right.
I think that's one thing. So I was turned on to Pelagic with the ocean, and I started looking at their packaging, and I've always been so impressed with their packaging. Good on them for like taking, paying it like brain fart, blah, um, that attention to detail with each package. They don't leave anything out for anyone.
No, yeah, they definitely take a lot of like, love and care with like every package that they put out. I mean, I've seen like some of the ocean stuff and it's just kind of like, wow, this is pretty top tier packaging. Like I wouldn't expect this from like an independent. I would certainly expect this from like one of the big like, mainstream level labels, but like no, they really go for it, and like hats off to them. And that's probably like part of their secret to success. You know what I mean? Like really
Yeah,
always like swinging for the fences, with every single little detail. So yeah.
yeah. I don't think a major would do that. They'd be like, how can we save money here? Like,
Yeah, right. They would like, let's maybe cut back here, you know what I mean? For sure. Yeah.
for sure. So, in the last 10 years, what album or albums have like jumped out at both of you? And let's start with Brian this time because you're not talking, buddy. Like, have jumped out that you're like, man, this album just start to, front to back has been fantastic.
10 years. Oh man.
Oh, we could go 50 if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna stay in the same lane, I think Oceanic by ISIS, I think was like one of the first
Good.
albums that really kind of just blew my mind in terms of like the post-metal world. I think me and Eric kind of share a love for ISIS and anything Aaron Turner does really. I think, he can't do any wrong. But yeah, I think Oceanic by ISIS is definitely a top five album for me, easily.
It's a fantastic album. Man, dude, I love it. Who doesn't love ISIS?
Yeah, they're incredible,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the stuff he did even after the fact that the Sumac stuff has just been like amazing.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, your turn, Eric.
Oh man, I can rattle off some records, man.
Let's go.
All right, for sure, Isis Oceanic, Isis Panopticon, the Ocean's Holocene, Spotlights, titles, Psalm's last record was incredible. Anything out of the Rosetta catalog, um, Death Heaven's Sunbather. I mean, there's been a lot of like good music coming out of the underground for sure. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the independent stuff. Cult of Luna, there was this one record called Mariner that absolutely blew my mind. There was this one singer out of New York. Her name is Julie Christmas. I hadn't heard of her before, but she actually plays with some of my friends, Lamakia and Christian
And
Spotlights.
Chris,
They have
yeah,
like they have like their own thing, and I heard that, and that shit was just like mind blowing. She's just incredible. She's a very unhinged singer, but it's amazing. So definitely recommend Cult of Luna's Mariner. Absolutely incredible.
rock and roll. I have to check that out.
All
Like
right.
honestly, I never really dug into Cult of Luna a whole lot. Not that
Oh
I've
man.
not
If you
liked or whatever.
if you like ISIS, I really think you'd like Cult of Luna. I try to turn everyone on to Cult of Luna. Like I kind of ignore them for like the longest time. People are like, oh, they're just kind of like ISIS-ish, you know? And I was just like, if I want to listen to ISIS, I'll listen to ISIS. And then I heard them, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of ISIS-ish, but they're kind of their own thing. And they're quite good. They're not quite good. They're amazing. And I remember just kind of like YouTubing their live show. If you see their live show, like the European like bands, like they do it up. Like holy, like their light shows is incredible.
Yeah,
So
I went in blind to see Coda Luna. They played with Emma Ruth Rundle and Intronaut in
mhm.
New York, and I think they pulled out two drummers for this, and they were just mind blowing.
Right.
Yeah, they were sick. And Magnus from Coda Luna mastered this album too, which is a
Oh
cool.
yeah. Hats off to Magnus. Thank you, Magnus, for mastering this record because we love you and Cult of Luna as well.
Full circle. There we go. That's awesome. It's it's super cool when you get to like work with people that you really appreciate the work that they've done in the, in the past, whether you planned on working with them then or not. It's like,
Mhm.
man, cool.
Right. Yeah,
That
I
last,
didn't.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sorry. No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I didn't even know that Magnus had done that kind of audio work before. When I was talking to some folks about like recording this record and where we would record it, I had actually talked to Kurt Ballou out of God City, and talked to him about like, hey, what does he offer? Does he offer mastering services, whatever? And he's like, he doesn't master, but he had recommended Magnus, and I'm like, oh wait, I know him. He plays in Cult of Luna. And then I talked to him. He was like the nicest guy, and yeah, he did an amazing job. So
That's super cool. I'm super glad that you mentioned that last Psalm album
mhm.
because, oh my fucking God, that's such a good album.
They're so good. Will's such an amazing like songcrafter slash singer. Like I hear their stuff, and I'm just kind of like, so good. I wish like when you listen to something and you're like, oh, I wish I wrote that. You know it's good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah. So you saying that reminds me of like the when Bob Dylan was asked about Jimi Hendrix
Mhm.
covering his tunes, and he was like, I wrote them, but I wrote them for Jimmy. Like that's, I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Right, for sure.
Ah, man, I want Psalm to come back through now.
I think they're doing a European run. We were in talks to doing something with them in the fall sometime. I don't know. We'll see what it shakes out. It just kind of depends on their schedule. But yeah, I think I'm they have to do a run. They just put out like this record, so I'm confident they're gonna do something.
Yeah, they were just here a few months ago,
Mhm,
probably right before the release of the album.
mhm.
Now they're out. Yeah, dude, psh, you guys are gonna do something together. Totally want to
Yeah,
put,
I think so.
bring you guys to Louisville or Lexington. Like,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no, yeah, they're definitely doing something. They just announced that they're doing a run, I think in Europe with a Slow Crush. So that should
yeah,
be cool. Right.
yeah, that'll be fun. Good for you, European folk, but come on
I know,
back to
right?
the States. Let's do this.
I know they get like all the good runs, they get all the good shows.
Well, not all of them. We get a lot of damn good shows.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you guys could tour with like anyone, who would that anyone be?
We'll let Brian drive this one.
I think, yeah, Death Heaven would be really cool. You mentioned Sunbather, being one of those, pivotal albums. I think I just caught them on their last tour with Gatecreeper and Trauma Ray, and they put on such a great live show. I really love their music. The album they just put out too is incredible too. So I think that would be a great lineup.
Right on. Okay. I'm here for it.
Or Full of Hell. I see you're wearing the Full of Hell shirt.
Oh,
There you go. Hell
Bit of a
yeah.
mixed bill, but I think mixed bill tours can be fun too. So
there was Friday night, Napalm Death, Melvins, Titans to Tachyon, and Dark Sky Burial.
hell yeah.
That's
That
quite
was oh, talk about a mixed bill.
that's quite the bill.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
was people were so confused when Dark Sky Burial like took the stage and was like, and it wasn't
What's
it
going
wasn't
on?
Shane because Shane was sick, so it was John like up there DJing. People, some people are like, this is cool, and some are like, I don't get it at all. Whatever. Then of course Titans to Tachyon is just, all of those folks are tremendous musicians, like mind blowing.
Sure. Yeah, and I think just being an instrumental band, we usually end up being on mixed bills because, there aren't a ton of instrumental bands in Philly or around Philly. So, we've played with doom bands, we've played with like, sludge thrash bands, we've played with, lots of different sort of genres and mixes. So those can be fun for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have like where everything's not the same. Because then at the end of the night, you're like, is this still the first band? What's going on here? Like, you got to mix it up. Brian, what's been your like favorite show you've ever been to that where you just walked in and weren't expecting anything and it blew your mind?
Favorite show. Oh man, that's a hard one. I might need some time to think about that. I go to a lot of shows, a lot. So, one that I didn't expect, it may have been that Cold Luna show that I mentioned before, because I really went for Intronaut and Emma Ruth Rundle, and I had heard of Cult of Luna, but I didn't really know what to expect. When I saw they pulled out two drum sets, I was like, okay, I think something cool is about to happen, and it really did kind of blow my mind seeing them live.
Hell yeah. That's that surprised me about the Melvins Friday. They have Cody and Dale both back there playing drums.
Nice.
Holy shit. It's great. Okay, Eric, your turn.
A show that I was blown away with, or was that the
Yeah, let's
question?
start.
Sorry.
We'll start that one and we'll go back to the other one.
Um, I mean, definitely probably the ocean. When we had just gotten signed, we got invited out to like one of their shows when they came through to Philly. And I had heard them before, but I didn't like really like dive into their catalog. And then I saw them and they were just like incredible. Like they throw on like hands down one of the best live shows I've ever seen. Like they do an incredible job. They're like super tight. And I remember talking to them afterwards, they're saying like, oh, that was kind of a rough show. And when a band first comes out, like their first couple shows will be kind of rough and then they'll kind of get in the swing of things. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That was insane. That was so impressive. You know what I mean? So I'd say the ocean. Yeah, definitely in the last couple of years where I've been absolutely blown away by a live show. As far as touring with some bands, I mean, like, yeah, I'd love to go out and do something with the ocean. Something with Spotlights would be rad. Something with Som would be rad. Um, yeah, any of those bands.
How about a Spotlights Som Hiroe bill?
Oh, that'd be incredible too, right? That'd be awesome,
Dude, I would be in heaven. Like
right?
just take me, Calgon, take me away. Like,
Right.
God, that is like my number one lineup right now.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I would
Thank you.
I would fucking love that. Hell yeah, dude. So Spotlight's probably they are one of my favorite bands. Like not even top five, they're like top two.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're incredible.
What first time I saw them, you've got the Deftones hat on,
Hmm.
was when they went out with Deftones and Refused. It was Chris's first tour with them.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I heard that news too. I was just like, it was incredible to like hear that. I know that they had been like stabbing away at it for a while. And then when they announced it, I was like, wow, that's insane, you know?
Yeah.
was super happy for them. Super proud of like what Mario had accomplished.
Oh, dude. Like, and that was, so early in their, in their career as a band.
Hmm.
Like to have that. I remember from the fucking first note they hit. I mean, we were at dude, I remember it like it was yesterday. Freedom Hill Amphitheater in Sterling Heights, Michigan. I think it's like 8 or 9 thousand people. And my jaw was just on the freaking floor their whole set.
Hmm.
Like, oh my God.
Right.
Ah, reminiscing. Ah, the good old days. So what do you guys for the rest of the year, right? We just talked about the run you have coming up in July. Beyond that, do you guys have anything in stone that you want to talk about, or is everything still in talks?
Everything's still kind of in talks right now. Like we may do something in the fall. We'll see. With some, New York bands, maybe some. And then we're kind of like in talks right now, I guess, to like try to hit Europe next year. So we'll try to hit up, do a couple of festival days out that way, do like a short run in between, and yeah, we'll see what happens, right? So
Right on. That'll be cool. Mm. What's the favorite place you guys have played?
favorite place we've played. Brian, you want to take this one?
I mean, yeah, for me, for sure, Post Fest in Indianapolis, on the outdoor stage. It was just, just a dream to share that stage with, bands like The Ocean, Caspian, If These Trees Could Talk, bands that I've looked up to for years. Such an amazing experience. So yeah.
God, Brian, you got the easy answers. It's that one. It's super easy. I know that one. I like that you think about it though.
Yeah, I definitely say the same. Definitely Post Fest. That stage was incredible, but like I never played outdoors, so I never knew what to expect. And I was having the weirdest tr time trying to hear things, but luckily we had in-ears in. But yeah, that was an incredible stage and an incredible experience. That's probably my favorite place that we've ever played for sure.
Right on. Way to go, Nason and Derek.
Right? Seriously, those guys are incredible.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of really good bands I'm really looking forward to this year. Uh, and I've never been to Post Fest.
Oh, you gotta go,
So,
man.
oh, I'll
You
be
gotta
there this year.
go. Like
100%.
like
Yeah,
like
like Converge and Cave In on Post Fest lineup. Yeah, that's crazy. They're
Yeah,
gonna
I think it's them. It's like Emma Ruth, Bong Ripper, believe Pelicans playing. I
yep.
mean, it's gonna be like incredible. Yeah. I'm stoked to just be like an audience member in this thing. Like just it's gonna be awesome. So
It's going to be fantastic. It absolutely will. So, with you guys doing that the Wednesday night before, you're playing, you said Black Circle?
yep,
That is such a cool place to see a show too.
you're right. Yeah, we had played there on our last run, and I want to say that's probably the best sound that I've ever had mixed for us. They do a really good job. And Black Circle's really awesome venue. The people there are super kind, super nice. So
Yeah. So Baroness is doing the Red and Blue tour.
hmm.
They're playing there on the 27th.
Okay.
I think what is that, like 200 people it holds or something?
Right, right,
I got so excited. I bought a ticket. I'm like, I'm going. There's no way I'm missing this.
right, right.
And last week, I look at my calendar and I'm like, I asked my wife, I said, hey, is Bailey's graduation really at like 4 o'clock?
Oh, it's rough. Good luck.
She, she goes, yeah, why? I'm like, there was
What?
a show. She's like, oh, you can go to the show. I'm like, no, it's in Indianapolis. She's like, really? No, because I'm not missing her graduation.
Right,
So some lucky dude just got a free ticket to Baroness, completely sold out.
right.
They did 2 nights of that in Philly, and I think those sold out in like
Oh yeah.
minutes. I couldn't even get tickets to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I sold off
Yeah,
in minutes.
they're another band that's just they're solid. When they play, they're, so tight. They know what they're doing. It's a great show. They've got great music. So, when Spotlights toured with them, was it last year? Year before?
Yeah, it was last year, I think. Right.
Yeah, we did. We went and saw them in Columbus and then in Detroit.
Mm,
And I'm like, man, it'd be cool to see Baroness in that little black circle room. Like, so close. So
yeah,
close.
such a like rad like venue, and it being like super intimate with a band that's like can easily sell out a bigger room than that for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for Black Circle for doing what they're doing because they just so many like killer shows. It's
Right.
one of my favorite places to go see a show in Indianapolis.
Right.
Hmm. We got you guys. So talk to the Som guys about Portal here in Louisville.
Okay.
Portal is like my favorite place to see a show.
Okay.
It's just this really cool, like, there's like an art gallery and a record store and a tattoo shop and
Oh, very cool. Rad.
uh dude, it's super super cool.
Nice.
Do you guys do lights too with your live show?
We do lights. We do some reactive lights right now. I'm trying to learn the finer points of like lighting design, DMX. It's a lot. But right now we do lights. And they're just like these little reactive tube LED lights. They respond to like the sound and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's those lights, man. They
I
add
think
something to that live show.
I think so. Like, people can come out and see like a rock show, or they can have like even more of an experience. And I certainly try to like, I pride myself in trying to offer that. So, mhm.
Yeah. That was something really cool about like the Psalm show because they do, of course, the lights also. And
Mhm.
to like, I'm a big crowd watcher. I
Mhm.
if I'm there enjoying a band, I want other people to enjoy it too. And I got to turn around and see some people's faces and literally see them go, wow.
I know, right?
I'm
Yeah.
like, yes. How do we make more of that happen? Just more wow all the time.
Right.
Are you guys going to do any? I have a bunch of random questions.
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything with like your test presses?
I don't know yet. I haven't heard anything about that. Maybe. I just will wait to hear from what the head of the label says, Robin, what he says. So, right.
Okay,
It'd be
just
cool to offer something up. Yeah. So we'll
for
see.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for some of your like some of the big supporters for you, I think it'd be really cool for them
Yeah, for sure.
to get those, maybe just one or two test presses, like, hey, cool, we're gonna sign these and
Right.
whatever.
Right.
That'd be super, super cool. Okay. Um, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I got things to
Yeah,
do. So let me say thank you both, Brian, Eric. I greatly appreciate the time that you've allowed me today to sit here and I feel like I talked a lot. Um, but I
all good.
appreciate the time that you've given me today because it is the most precious commodity that we all have.
For sure. Thank you so much, Tom. Really appreciate you guys having us on.
Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. You guys go and have a great night.
You too. Talk to you, Tom.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.